Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today I have an upload that I had worked on a little earlier in the day, and then the upload actually went a completely different way than I even thought possible. Before we get into it though, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, and channel membership are in the description below. The merch is displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It doesn't cost you a cent. Click that like button. Takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads I put out daily, click that bell icon. And folks, please leave a comment. Why? Well, because all of these things, they really do help this channel to continue to grow and go, and they definitely do matter. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump into today's upload, shall we? Alright guys, so what I mean by today's upload went a completely different way is I had recorded about a half an hour of time up where Tom Mezek disappeared today. And I forgot my shofar. I had driven all the way up there. I thought it was in my bag, but I left it at home. I get home and I received an email, a very interesting email about Tennessee. Now, as many of you guys know, Tennessee is kind of a hotspot for government cover-up and attacks. And we'll jump into that just as soon as you guys check out the clips from up where Tom Mezek disappeared. Alright guys, this will probably be my last trip to where Tom Mezek disappeared for the year 2023. You know how I said that the trail I take, there's the Lily Pond Trail, and then there's this wash. And a few people said, you know, what's a wash? Some people don't hike, and that's understandable. A wash is where you have a lot of water and it rushes down very rapidly. And it separates all the trail, all the dirt and stuff. So hang on one second. So that's what a wash looks like. You can see the leaves are parted. We had some torrential rainstorms recently. And, you know, when we get hit with rain, we get hit with rain up here, probably everywhere else too, but it's real icy up here right now because it's cold. But I figure let's do the last take the last trip up here for the year. I wanted to bring my shofar, but I forgot to. So, but this is the wash that I hike all the time, and you can see it. It's pretty much like a stream bed, and now it's frozen solid. I gotta be a little careful on here. It is cold out today. Adirondack State Park. For that hater, that troll that hates me. Wow, a couple great uploads as of late. the doctor and everything else going along with it, or PA being forced to see right here. You can see there's a little bit of water trickling down, and then that's what a wash is. So it's a naturally made trail that we've taken advantage of, New York State, to hike on. It really cleaned up all these rocks too. Washed a lot of this dirt away. This is the area that I kept hearing that metallic ping. Real cold. It's about 32 today. Chilly, chilly. Anyway, so I figured talk a little bit while we're up here. Yeah, it's steeper. When that rain ripped through here, it made it steeper. There's the two rocks that I'm at. Over here is where I had the trail cam set up. But you know, we had some great uploads recently, and someone had said in the comment section of that PA, probably, and I'm not trying to insult anyone, but probably, or more than likely, someone that's never had to deal with these creatures, probably never even dealt with the government except for what they see on the X-Files. But he's like, I heard that when people like that are made to sign NDAs, that they receive money. I have too, but not on all of them. I could probably count on one hand the amount of experiences that I've had in my life that people were forced to sign NDAs and received money. And they don't need to pay you for your silence. Threats work just as good. Threats of violence, threats of losing everything you care about works just as good. So I wanted to address that because I think, you know, that there is a kind of real important. You know, they don't have to pay us if we're forced to sign an NDA. That's more or less. I've only heard of a couple, and one was Ron and his dad, which I covered probably a month ago. His dad was almost torn apart. A few others. And then I kind of wanted to address something. I've been doing this for a while, and people are just starting to find my channel, and they think it's new because it's new to them. It's far from new. And I've been researching for since 1994, so 29 years, almost 30 years. And I am learning every day. I'm learning new stuff every day. One thing that I can learn, and one thing that I have learned, is that a lot of these channels out here nowadays are fiction. Werewolves talisman, you know, fictional stories for views, and then people are buying it like crazy. And channels that used to have nonfiction, real events that have happened, are now doing that. And that is disgusting, if you ask me. Because it'd be like, you know, hey, I don't watch other channels, and I've never met Steve from How to Hunt, but I've heard that he's got an amazing work theory when it comes to researching and sharing experiences. So, and he's real. He shares real stuff. So it'd be like him all of a sudden putting crazy fiction stories, or me. You know, people are going to then believe it, which is terrible, if you ask me. It's terrible for the community of cryptozoology, and terrible for new people that are just getting introduced to this field, you know? I love this field. I love researching. I love learning. I love talking to new people. I love when I go out here and I have that little fear factor, you know? This is right here where I was blowing the shofar last time, and I heard footsteps. People heard it. Once again, we're not hearing any gunshots today because it is a weekday. Most hunters up in the Adirondacks work in factories, so they're working. Beautiful place. I love it here so much. I really do. I wish the Adirondacks had, or this area had, not the stigma of Tom Messick disappearing around it. Because like here, I'm going to stop real quick. So I'm level. And it just keeps going up. And that's small. You know, there's the sky right there, but that's not the trail. Over here is the trail. That's just woods, you know? Really amazing, beautiful terrain. A lot of debris in that. And rangers do come up here and clean these trails out. It's a state trail. Tom Messick was killed, or not killed, I'm not even gonna say he was killed, disappeared on state land. 411s happen in federal and in state lands. That's why he's considered a 411. So, you know, of course there's gonna be rangers out here taking care of things. Helicopter. I don't know if you guys can hear that off in the distance. How beautiful it is, though. Absolutely. Freezing cold out. Just kind of look around for a minute. Wish I brought the shofar with me today. There's a lot of rain damage here today. Just a ton of damage. A lot of dirt and debris got pushed off. Like, look at this. This is a rock that I'm standing on. I don't want to turn the camera on, but look at the ice. It's everywhere. Very dangerous hiking right now up here. Cold. But, you know. Okay, so that was two of the things that I wanted to kind of address. The Danny Van Drimeny book. An amazing book. An amazing book. Danny Van Drimeny, Them and Us. How Neanderthal predation created modern human. It really talks about how Neanderthal resembled a werewolf-like creature, what we know as werewolf. That's another thing I keep seeing a lot of too is, Jeff, what's the difference between a werewolf and a dogman? And as per Victor, a werewolf resembles a Bigfoot more than a dogman. It has a muzzle, a very small muzzle, no tail, human-like legs, twice as strong as a dogman. Usually when they've met up face to face in the wilderness, a werewolf would win. When it comes to werewolf and Bigfoot, strength-wise, usually the Bigfoot can out-muscle a werewolf. Now, this is all per Victor. Once again, Victor was not a scientist that worked for the government. Hunter. He was a hunter. And he said it, too. You know, he didn't know everything. He knows what he shared with us. On those hunts, things that he learned on those hunts. So, you know, they had straight human-like legs. And that pretty much is the difference between a werewolf and a dogman. That Danny Van Drimeny book, which I did an awesome upload, and I'm not saying it's an awesome upload because I did it. I'm saying because of the information that was in it. The information that was shared in that book is just spot on to what we know as a werewolf. And he says it, you know. Modern humans have created these stories about bugbear, ogre, Bigfoot, werewolf, cryptids, all throughout time though. So something in Japan talked about hundreds of years ago, or India hundreds of years ago, we are now seeing in America present day, which is scary if you think about it, because that's why that thing is ingrained in our head. That is in our head. It's ingrained in our psyche to fear these things, to know that these things exist. You know, that's why little kids who have never seen a horror movie, never seen a werewolf movie, a dogman movie, a cryptid, you know, never seen Chud, but they have this fear of a creature like the crawler. It's because it's freaking ingrained in our psyche from hundreds and thousands of years of us, our ancestors, battling these things. It's actually really nice out today. Not nice out, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. I love it here. I really think that Mezek disappeared in a portal. 100%. You know, I really, as a creator and as a researcher, we have we as creators and researchers are supposed to present the truth of what we find out. Our research, like when I research the animal attacks on humans, and give you the 100% information that we have and let you guys decide on it, or experiences that are shared with us, you know, and let you guys decide it. But when we start throwing fiction in the midst of it, or mix of it, werewolf talisman, what the fuck is that? It's just disgusting, if you ask me. You know? All for views. All for views. I have been dealing with family issues, my dad, since November 20th. A month today. I'm up here December 20th. And I continue to research, continue to speak with you guys, continue to put uploads out because, one, it's something I love. Two, it's something I hold near and dear and pure to my heart. And three, because you guys matter to me. And I want everyone to be safe when it comes to these things. And if you start throwing fiction in the mix, you're not going to be safe. Someone hears, oh man, we'll just say this and this couple of words and it'll run away from us. These things have been proven to be shot and killed. Therefore, they are flesh and blood. Not all. Not all. Because there's been ones that have been proven to be paranormal, demonic, or supernatural in sense. So a bullet wouldn't work. How the hell are you supposed to know? You know? That's why I always say, when you do go in the forest, have prayer in one pocket and a firearm in the other. Because you know what? Chances are, you might not run into one of these creatures out in the forest, but you might run into a goddarn bear, or a mountain lion, or a bobcat, or a fisher, and it may attack you. And prayer ain't going to stop one of those things. So always have some sort of defense with you. And always remember that this science, the science of cryptozoology, is a science based on theory. It's a science that has no 100% fact to it yet. Yet we have not proved everything. Which makes it great, because we're still discovering things. We're still discovering the unknown. So, I don't know. I guess that's it for up here today. I wish I brought the shofar. Anyway, I'll add to this upload a couple things. But, guys, you know, I guess that what I'm trying to say is to creators / researchers out there, share the facts of what you've discovered, and always have an open mind to what may exist out there. You know, just because someone says that I'm a seer or I'm clairvoyant, and what the hell is that? I'm clairvoyant, doesn't mean that I believe in that. I do believe in clairvoyancy and stuff like that. But when it comes to these things, I have a hard time believing it. What is that? Ice. All right. Well, that's it for up here. Might as well start heading down. I've got about 15 minutes of walking. All right. Talk to you guys later. All right, guys. So, shofar is in the bag for the future visits up north. Not a bad visit up there. A couple of creepy feelings, creepy vibes, but nothing. I've experienced worse. I've experienced worse, and you guys have seen much worse. Metallic sounds, crashing through the forests, finding some weird rock structures, and something coming off the side of the mountain and running across the trail. Now, this is where things get real weird. So, I had talked a little bit about non-disclosures and such, and how when the PA was taken to respond to a incident that she thought was a animal attack, but it was actually government agents and a werewolf, Dogman being dead in the area. And I said that NDA was signed, yada yada. And some guy in the comment section said, "That's not true. They usually give you money." Well, and I said, I've had a couple where people have been paid. Ron and his dad on an NDA did receive compensation. Now, it's not always how it is. The subscriber that reached out to me today had me looking and revamping in things that went on in Tennessee, because what he shared with me happened in Tennessee. So, I just recently shared an experience where a park ranger in Polk County, Tennessee, in the Chilhowee Mountain, which is Cherokee National Forest, was threatened with his job. Numerous park rangers and non-disclosures were signed with no compensation. So that experience triggered this man to reach out to me because of two other cases after that one that I talked about in Tennessee. He said the one in Chilhowee, Polk County, the one in Cott County, Tennessee, Tony Aarons, Amber Miller, both savagely torn apart. Wild animals blamed on that, both torn apart in the same vicinity. I mean, 100 feet away, if that. I've had a subscriber go down in that area to a homeless encampment and speak to the homeless people out there. And they said, yes, there is a creature running around, many creatures, dogmen, running around the woods of Cott County, Tennessee, Carnation Way, Jimtown Road. That's where Tony Aarons, Amber Miller were brutally attacked. And then a experience that I had talked about over 2.5 years ago. No, about 2 years ago. And I had actually forgotten about this until I pulled it out of my files. But there was a case in Chetam County, a Pleasant View area, where a body had been found in a cave. The subscriber wanted to talk to me about that experience because he had his own Dogman encounter and he knows that there is something fishy going on in Chetam County. So let's get into that right now. So the subscriber had been wanting to reach out to me for a little while now. He almost reached out during the time that the body was found back in March of 2022. And but he didn't, out of fear. And then when the Cott County, Tennessee thing was going on, he wanted to reach out. But then when the park ranger and his wife contacted me, he felt like if a park ranger that signed a non-disclosure is willing to reach out, and yes, there are multiple other people that were involved signing non-disclosures, that it's his time now. He lives in Chetam County, and he knows for a fact he had a Dogman encounter on Ashley Road in Chetam County. Very rural farm area, a lot of woods. Apparently, he had just kind of turned onto Ashley Road and was heading deep into a wooded area, and then it opens up to some farm and then goes into some more deep wooded areas. Well, he had been driving after dropping his girlfriend off. He was heading home, and he had noticed something walking along the side of the road. He saw it a ways away, and he's like, is that someone walking? You know, it's kind of late. Definitely a little chilly. It was like early April. Maybe I should pick him up, until he's about 150 feet on this creature. As he's rolling up to it, he sees the backside and he sees a tail, and he can kind of measure the height by eye, realizing that this thing is much taller than he. It's about 7 feet tall, grayish black, and he notices the tail right off because it's got its back to him. As the lights hit this creature, as he's coming up on it, now he's giving it gas, it turns and looks at him, and he makes eye contact with him. And he said, when my eyes met this creature's reddish, hellfired eyes, I felt something in my chest. And as I punched it, and I don't know how I didn't hit this creature, and I think it was trying to purposely get me to crash off the side of the road because it jumped out in front of me. As we all know, we've heard how far Dogmen can jump. And he narrowly missed it. But he said, I kept going. He goes, I wasn't going to turn. If I hit this thing, I hit it. You know, bottom line. So that was his introduction to Dogman. He had told a few friends about it, and instantly they were like, you know, that sounds like something we've heard on the internet. Check this out. And he put two and two together that, holy crap, that's a Dogman. Well, a few years go by, and in between his experience and this conversation right now, there was a person found in a cave in his neighborhood. And I'm going to share this with you guys because it has a lot to do with what he shared with me. And that's not even the craziest part. So check this out. March 6th, 2022. Pleasant View, Tennessee. The TBI confirmed Wednesday the identity of a man whose remains were found over the weekend in Chetam County. According to TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, the remains belong to a James Franklin Long II. Long was born April 8th, 1970. Children discovered the remains of an adult male in Chetam County on a Sunday afternoon, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations confirmed. The unidentified children found the body of the man. He was found in a cave in a wooded area near Jeer Court in Pleasant View, TBI states. It is very odd because Pleasant View has been called the safest city in Tennessee. So hearing body parts in the woods is not something you hear every day, resident Brian Flatto said. TBI officials added that they are assisting the Pleasant View Police Department in an ongoing investigation. In addition, authorities will conduct an autopsy on remains to determine the identity of this individual. Flato had been living here for 7 years and said it's nice, tight-knit community. But he said something like this is highly abnormal. Very quiet folks, all know each other, wave when people go by. Very little crime, Flato states. It's unclear how long the remains have been there, leaving residents with more questions than answers. Did someone take the body into the cave or just naturally or unnaturally pass away there, Flato states. March 9th, 2022. Authorities have determined the identity of the man found in Chetam County cave over the weekend. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said the body was identified as James Franklin Long II, 51 years old. Long's body was found inside of the cave in a wooded area near Gier Court in Pleasant View on March 6th. The man's body was found by 3 13-year-olds who were walking through the woods. We saw a trail and we thought, it'd be pretty cool to go down that trail, explained the teen boys who do not want their identities revealed. First, they found a pair of shoes in the wooded area, which led them to explore further. I put both the shoes together, and then one of our friends saw a femur bone. As they pushed further into the woods, they spotted a cave, leading them to another discovery. In the cave, we found torn clothes, a prison release card, a credit card, teens explained. At that point, the teens called the police and their parents. One of the teens explained going back into the cave with the police. We went deeper into the cave and we found the rest of the body. The head, the torso were in the cave just lying against the wall. While authorities have released the identity of the body, no cause of death has been released at the time. So I purposely skipped the day. The first article was from the 6th, then the 9th. The reason why I did that was because this article right here has some very, very interesting things said. 3 teens who discovered the remains of a man inside the cave in Tennessee revealed they were exploring a trail in a thickly wooded area in Chetam County when they came across a shocking find. We saw a trail and thought, it'd be pretty cool to go down that trail, one of the 13-year-olds said. To WKRN. They then discovered items of clothing, 2 random shoes. According to the boys, who do not want their identities revealed, this piqued their interest. I put both shoes together, and one of my friends said, "Is that a femur bone?" the boy adds. The group decided to move further, then run away. It was just some random cave we found, he adds. The cave was dark, and the boys used the glow of their cell phone light. In the cave, we found clothes torn apart and shredded, a police release card, a credit card. The teen explained, adding, they immediately called the police. They said, "This is the strangest call we've had in a while," and told us to take them there, one of the boys said. Law enforcement then searched the heavily wooded area behind the cul-de-sac in Gier Court. News 19 reports. The mother of one of the boys was the next to get a call. My son calls me and says, "Hey, Mom, we found a femur bone in the woods." And I said, No, you did not. No, you didn't. And he's like, Yeah, we really did. We called the cops, and they were going to put crime scene tape up, the mother told the news outlet. She added, the boys were beside themselves, a bit shook up. They may have solved a missing persons case. I hope they have helped in some way, she states. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has confirmed the body of an adult male. Autopsy is pending. Meanwhile, Diane McPherson, whose property backs up to the area, also opened up about her dog's unusual behavior several nights ago. At around 1 in the morning, he just started barking and going crazy. And so I opened the door and he just took off. It took me a while to get him back in the house, McPherson states. Also, the boy's mother was asked by the news agency if she will allow the boys in the woods again. And she says, sure, why not? It's not like it's going to happen again. No, maybe, but little did Mom know it happened 6 years earlier. August 17th, 2016, a man's body was found submerged in water inside of a cave on Wednesday in the Marquise Estate subdivision in Pleasant View, according to Chetam County Sheriff's Office investigator Dale Smith. Smith said an investigation continues and did not release the victim's identity. The body was found by family members, Smith said. The Pleasant View Police Department requested assistance from the Chetam County Sheriff's Office and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation due to the complex nature of the case. The Pleasant View Volunteer Fire Department was on the scene with rescue equipment. The man's body was recovered shortly after 3 p.m. Pleasant View Chief Tad Wheeler, old Tad, said the body was found at 8:30 in the morning. Police then cordoned off the area on Cary Drive, which is a residential area off Highway 41A. TBI spokeswoman Leslie Earnhardt said the cause of death is unknown at this time. She said the man's body will be sent to a medical examiner's office for an autopsy to determine the cause of death. Agents continue to interview individuals as a part of the investigation into the case. She said authorities on the scene said the victim had been possibly missing since Sunday. Now, the 23-year-old that was found on a normally quiet cul-de-sac at the end of Cary Drive is now the command center for the recovery effort. His name was known as Robert R.J. Manley. And so some 6 years prior to this incident of this man being found torn apart in a cave that had only been missing for less than a week, a couple days, 6 years earlier, in the same vicinity, a man was found in a cave, once again, torn apart. So now this subscriber who lives in the vicinity in Pleasant View, where Long was found, they had been questioning all the residents in the area. And if you remember the end of that one where I said, this is where things are kind of strange, the mom said, it's not like it's going to happen again. But then a resident, McPherson, stated that her dogs were acting very abnormally, going crazy out there. So the subscriber was interviewed as well. And of course, me covering this experience back when it happened in March of 2022, time seems like it was longer, but it wasn't. Why would he be afraid to talk about, him living in that area? Well, that's not what freaked him out the most. Obviously, having his own Dogman experience on Ashley Road, and then 2 bodies being found in very close vicinity to each other, both torn apart, found in caves. But this is what freaked him out the most. TBI inspectors or investigators were talking to the residents, and when they were questioning him, asking him, hey, have you seen anything strange, heard anything out of it abnormal, that was pretty much basic conversational questions that were asked. Well, when they questioned the subscriber that reached out, they kind of took him, one man from the TBI took him aside and pretty much just said, name, good address, good phone number. Now, have you noticed any kind of large wolf that does not belong in this area? And as he said this to the subscriber, he is staring dead into the subscriber's eyes. His eyes change to a reptilian eyeball, both, for a couple of seconds, and says, you probably have seen one of these things, haven't you? And then his eyes go back to normal, and then just says, thank you for cooperating, yada, yada. If we need anything more, we'll be in touch, along that lines. But it was almost like it was a completely different conversation. So he went from, give me a great name, give me your name, give me your address, give me this, and then boom, have you seen any kind of large wolf that does not belong here? I'm guessing you have. And his eyes change in front of him to a reptilian-like eye, and then back. And then right back to the normal kind of question and answer thing. So after he had heard, the experience out of Polk County and the NDA that was signed, and how, park rangers were threatened for doing their job. And he had heard, he had felt like when the park ranger was going to start taking notes, and one of the TBI or investigators said, who the hell are you? This is above your pay grade, pretty much, to him, to the park ranger. That's when the subscriber from Tennessee he kind of had this deja vu moment, like, holy shit, that's what happened to me. Something very similar. These our government, these TBI officials know that these things are, running wild through Tennessee and the South and everywhere across the United States. But are all of these investigators, some sort of reptilian, or was it just this one? But he said, Jeff, the eyes changed, man. He said, I was looking right at this guy. I didn't have anything to be worried about. I was just answering his questions. His eyes went from this, normal color, light brown, to a yellowish, reptilian-like pupil. He said, I felt my insides just quiver with fear. And I was like, yeah, I think, Now, these are not all the other, there's been numerous cases within just 2 years that have gone crazy in Tennessee. A woman was attacked. I tried to find the experience or the news article. I have about, hundreds of news articles where people have randomly been attacked, and unknown animal, or some BS kind of story. But this woman had been attacked in Tennessee. I couldn't find it, and but I remember it distinctly. I don't remember the exact park she was attacked in. But the news article said that, she was attacked by this huge grayish black wolf. And about a day later, when the news kind of went out, people were saying, that wasn't a wolf. That wasn't a dog. That wasn't a German Shepherd. This thing ran bipedally away from that woman after it attacked her. So the government in Tennessee knows what's going on. Cott County, Tennessee is a major, major cover-up with Tony Aarons and Amber Miller. Major cover-up. And then Polk County, major cover-up. And now this. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's upload as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. I really do appreciate all of your support and kindness. It really is what makes this channel so special and what continues to make it grow and go. The community that you guys have created is second to none. Just amazing. So thank you. Please, everyone, stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on your children, your pets, your family, and friends. These creatures are real. They're out there. They are dangerous. Share a little bit of information, that same info we share here with each other on a daily basis, and it may just save their lives someday. Never stop pushing back, and God bless you all.